My screen is visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Be blessed by the divine. Yeah, today we are going to have this topic for discussion today. Syncing with nature. Yeah, there was a few questions on the topic itself when it was sent. You have called about the topic itself, what exactly we mean. Yeah, it is like due to the wording, spelling, there was some confusion, I believe. Synchronizing with nature, that is being connected with nature. That is what we mean by the topic. And let us have some our thought process spent on this topic today. Yeah, when we say nature, what exactly we mean? So I thought of approaching the topic with a few questions, like a general questions, which could be answered by us by thinking for a while, so that we will be able to move further with some kind of clear thought process. Yeah, the first question is like, what is nature? What exactly we mean when we say nature? Yeah, if you try to answer this question as a common person or a philosophical background, everything in this universe, whether it is like a living or non-living, all are part of nature, right? We can say anything out of our physical body, even though we are part of nature too, but we consider we are controlling the things within ourselves, right? So we have some kind of ability to make things happening, like our physical body movement or whatever. So we are deciding that, right? So that could be done by us only up to our physical body limit. So anything out of our body, we can consider that it is nature. And how is it helping us? What nature is doing for us? When we had some thought on this question, we can try to summarize like all our requirements in our life to live on day-to-day basis, starting from the air to breathe and the basic requirements for us like water, food, shelter. Everything is provided by this nature, right? So even the artificial things which we converted the nature for our own comfort, which we are utilizing in our life on day-to-day basis, those are also converted from the nature itself. So that is also part of the nature only. So nature is everything and it provides all the requirements for leading our life in whatever the manner we move through. And where we are in nature. So having said like nature is everything, how do we consider and where we are with the nature? That is what I try to mean by this question. In reality, if you see, we are far away from nature, right? Even though we understand about the value of nature, we are like whenever it is needed and when there is any requirement, when we are in trouble, we will go back to the nature. That is the way we are handling the nature now, right? It is like a generic statement which could be applicable for most of the human being in this world. That is what I mean here. Okay, next, moving further, what we will get when we get connected to the nature. When we go closer to the nature, as I was telling, right, whenever there is a trouble, we are going back to the nature. When there is a hectic official schedule or whatever, for a while, our children are finishing some kind of exam, or in personal life, we have crossed some kind of milestone in our lifetime. So we used to consider that to have a break, and as a family, we will go to a place to enjoy the nature, to be with the nature, right? So what exactly we are getting when we do that? That's what we are trying to think as a generic way. First thing, we all will feel like more when we keep ourselves more connected to the nature, we are getting some fresh energy, right? We get boosted with more activeness so that we will be able to move further in a new active manner. So that is the first benefit I could list out when we keep ourselves close to the nature. And the next one, the healing. So all the diseases or health ailments will be cured by the nature. If you allow it to do that, if you have patience to be with nature, naturally whatever the ailments or diseases coming to us may go away, unless some extreme emergency cases. This is commonly applicable for most of the ailments happening within our body. So a lot of medical treatment methods we might have heard about naturopathy, which is developed based on the nature only. So all the medicines which are given through this medical treatment method will be based on nature. So natural elements are utilized to treat any kind of ailments in this treatment methods. Then another important thing which is getting more familiarized nowadays in Western world, which is called as forest therapy. So basically it starts from Japan's old method, which they call it as Shinrin Yoku, which is exactly meaning as forest bathing. Forest bathing literally it means that like being in the forest. Go to the forest and enjoy the nature by being fully connected with the nature. So this kind of therapy is giving a big change on human being when we talk about physical or mental or psychological. All the abilities are getting changed when we do this. So that is the reason people started doing this. So this is also one of the benefit which we are getting when we are getting connected with the nature. And the next one I wanted to list out as the emotional balance. So when we are being with the nature, we all could feel that, right? That is the reason when I say that whenever we need a break, when you go back and have a walk in a open garden, enjoying the open sky and some kind of greeneries. So the thought process is changing within us, and there is some big change happening on our emotional control. So this is also one of the benefit we are getting when we are being with nature. And also it increases the creativity, because we are all the fraction divided from the wholeness nature, right? So when we are getting connected, obviously we will be getting some kind of additional information, and which increases our creativity more and more. So all our personality change is also getting initiated by this connectivity with nature. So overall, we all will become a better human being when we are keeping ourselves connected to the nature. Okay, so next question I just thought of taking you all through is, how can we do this? How can we be connected with the nature? So if you see ourselves how we are doing it now, probably some will be following, even though a lot of models are being developed now, how to be with the nature, because nature and human interaction to be increased so that the ability of the human being will improve. All these concepts are being realized in recent times by the people, and a lot of models are being introduced. So just starting from the basic level, as a common man, how can we be connected? So some of us will be having this habit, right? Whenever we need to be connected with nature, we will read about nature, or we will be watching some kind of like videos which is talking about the value of nature, to be in connection, close connection with the nature. And as I was mentioning earlier, some of us will be planning a trip, so with a family or with friends or some official team members, going to a place, natural place, to spend together, so that they will be having more connectivity with the nature. So that is also being followed as a common habit now. The next one, yeah, realizing the value and trying to expand or increase it. So here, since we understand the importance of nature and the limitation of that precious resource, we all try to continue that, right? Once you went back and enjoyed a beautiful park, once you come back, you will try to maintain that connectivity more. So that is the reason we started developing a small garden within our home itself. Like most of us, we do here. Even in bigger cities, when there is no place, people started developing the garden in the roof, which is called as a roof garden. So these all are being done by us to be connected with the nature, and we are increasing the connectivity with the nature. And yeah, the last point. So since we realize the nature, the importance of the nature, so we are trying to initiate some kind of new special measures so that we can conserve the nature being a precious resource, so that the future generation also can continue enjoying this precious resource. So that is another step we are all doing to keep ourselves connected with the nature. Okay, coming back to us now, that is, I mean, being as Vedatrians, let us approach and analyze about Mother Nature in Vedatriyam way. As we all know, our Guru has given a lot of philosophical explanations about the evolution of nature, how the human being and all other living beings evolved from the nature. So in that philosophical explanation, he keeps mentioning to us about the whole process, but it starts with the five elements, right? Five elements are the basic raw material, and that is being part of all living and non-living beings in this universe. So these are the 5 natural elements which are called as Panchabhutas: Akash, air, fire, water, earth. So these 5 basic elements are part of all living and non-living species in this universe. But only the proportion is changing, right? When we talk about Akash, that is the first basic energy particle which evolved from the dot particle due to its continuous rotation. So that is called as a single piece. The basic energy particle, single particle, is called as Akash. When they are getting grouped together, so the next element, air, is born, and then when air is getting dense and heavy, so due to the continuous rotation, the heat is produced, which is initiating as the next element evolution, which is fire. And again, when due to the continuous transformation, the 4th element, water, is evolved and followed by the 5th element, earth. So these 5 elements are staying as raw material for all other substances which we are seeing in this universe. So when we talk about the origin of these Panchabhutas, 5 natural elements, so the God particle, as we talked earlier, due to the continuous rotation, so there was a process which is termed as Panchatanmatras in philosophical explanations. So this process, Panchatanmatras, is the process which is converting the physical mechanism to the 5 natural elements. So first, the pressure, only that is evolved due to the continuous rotation of all the particles, so which is creating first element as Akash, and then it went to the air. Second element is evolved from the second process, which is sound, and the next process, light, is related to the fire, third element, and the 4th process of taste is related to the 4th element, water, and the 5th process, smell, is related to the 5th element, solid or land, or whatever we mean. So again, these 5 elements are even related to, as I was telling, it is part of every substance in this universe. So within our physical body also, all these 5 representations are there in different proportion. And even the 5 sensory organs are also related with these 5 basic elements. And even the energy centers which we are dealing with the meditation practice in our system, all the 5 energy centers are also related to each 5 element. And then the mudra signs, which is also part of the yoga system. So in mudra also they consider the 5 fingers in our hands are representing each element, and based on that, those practices are developed. So to get some kind of benefit out of that particular element, so that system itself is designed on this basis. And next to 5 elements, when we talk about nature to the core, the next part which is visually seen out of our earth is the planets and galaxies within this universe, right? We are all living in the planet Earth. So the planet Earth is part of the solar family. So there are other planets involved in this family. And then the solar family is part of one of the galaxy. Like this, there are multiple galaxies, millions of million galaxies are in this universe, and this is the entire universe we are talking about, in which we are just a bit of it. So this is the power of nature. So when we try to visualize in this way, then only we will be able to expand our mind to the fullest level. And to understand these planets more, how they are creating some kind of effect, because we all know that the planets are emitting some kind of waves on continuous basis. So being in Earth, we are all exposed to the cosmic energy field through which we are getting the waves of all the planets to us, which are making some kind of changes within us. So how that could happen? To understand that more, again, our wave theory, which is explained by our guru, that answers this, right? Whenever we talk about any wave starting from an object, so that wave will be carrying the qualities of the object also. So that is the reason when we talk about the wave emanated from any particular planet, that will be creating some kind of effect on us. To visualize that more with more clarity, the sun, when you take the sun's rays, which are directly clashing with different objects in this earth, right, which we could see that by our own eyes. So whenever the sun's waves are clashing with the rock surface, we can see that what is being produced, right? More heat will be reflected from the rock. The rock is getting heated by the rays coming, waves coming out of sun. At the same time, the same waves from the sun is touching or clashing with the grass bed. Assume a vast garden with full of grass surface. So the sun rays, when they are clashing with the grass, we could see that it will not be producing the same heat like a rock, right? There is a difference when it is clashing with the grass. The same goes with the water. When you assume a big pool of water on which the waves from sunlight is directly clashing, the effect on the water also could be different from the other two substances which we compared earlier. So in this same way, when the waves from sun or any other planet to which we are exposed with, and continuously the waves are being emitted, and when it is clashing with us based on our own nature, our own inner self qualities, so we are getting some kind of effects exhibited. So this is the way it works. So to understand that process clearly, in our introspection 1, we are all taught in detail about this meditation. In that, all these explanations are clearly given to us. At the same time, when we talk about the relationship, so we just saw about one example with sun in the previous slide, right? So this is the same phenomena applicable for any other planet also. So the waves coming from different planets clashing and creating some kind of physical or mental, intellectual changes within us. And this is what mentioned by our guru in another explanation also, like when we talk about the causes, 6 causes, which are creating some kind of changes of the biochemical in our body. In Kayakalpa explanation, we have seen this, right? So the biochemical change is happening within our body because of 6 different causes. One of them are the planetary positions. So based on the planet movement, the way of waves emanated from it and clashing with us is also changing. So that is the reason we all get this kind of changes within us. So in the beginning, we were all talking, right, in a generic manner, how can we be connected with the nature? So we have seen some kind of general practice. Now, being Vedatrium, we understood all these concepts more and more, and the values are also understood. Now, how can we utilize this as a practice to get all these benefits? For that only, Maharishi has given a beautiful special meditation, being one of the 9 meditations taught in our system. So that is 5 elements and 9 planets meditation, which we are planning to do today also. So this product itself is made by our Guru with his own research and the experience he gained by going through different treatment practices like Ayurveda and naturopathic treatment methods, and also the yogic knowledge which he acquired in his lifetime. By putting all those together, he considered that this meditation is systematically helping all the human being when they do that. So what exactly we will be doing? We might have exposed to this meditation, some of us before also. So we are doing the meditation first on the 5 natural elements, one by one. We are taking for meditation, and the second part will be all 9 planets. So every element or every planet will be taken for our meditation, and we will visualize with all their abilities and power, and then we start meditating for 2 minutes in each one. So that is the way this meditation is being done. As I was mentioning earlier, this is being taught in our system through introspection stage 1 course, so that detailed explanation will be given to all of us. And once we practice Turiya meditation for a reasonable point of time, we are attaining the introspection level, stage 1, right? So that time we will be able to enjoy the real benefit of doing this meditation. So that is the reason Maharishi has sequenced this in that way. Okay, again, the first part is Panchabhootha meditation. So when we are talking about this first part, we will be meditating on all 5 elements on the sequence of their own evolve. We are starting with the 5th element first, because from reverse way when we go to the core nature. So first we are seeing about earth. So the first, that is the 5th element, will be taken for meditation first in the first part. So basically when we are doing this meditation on the 5 elements, what we exactly try to do is we are expanding our mind to the vastness of the element. So we will be going completely to the vastness of that particular element, and we will respect its value and greatness, and we are trying to becoming one with that element itself. For that 2 minutes, there is no difference between that particular element and we, because we know that, right? So when you consider you like a other relationship, if you try to compare, when you consider you are separated from that particular person, then only the conflict can occur between that person and you, right? So if you are being one with that, that is what we are all trying to achieve in the relationship of life partner also, right? We are, even though 2 different persons, by thought and by all our abilities, we are trying to be one in our lifetime. So when we realistically achieve that, there will be, the differences will go down and there will be no difference, so that there is no harm or negativity between those 2 relationships. So the same way, we are trying to become one with that particular element, so that we will not be getting any kind of negative effects on us by that element. And also we will try to understand the secret of the evolutionary process of nature. how this element has evolved from the nature. That secret is also trying to be visualized in this 2 minutes when we meditate on that particular element. And we will be taking the protection from that element, because when we are being one with that, so there is no other harmful rays coming out of it. So we are protected by that element, and we will develop the art of utilizing it in a better and beneficial ways. So these are the basic points we are trying to do when we do the 2 minutes meditation on each element in the first part. So when we are doing this earlier in generic way, when we are going to a natural place, when we are just seeing the places around and enjoying the nature only through the eyes, when we are connected with that, we could feel there is some inner change happening within us, right? So if you compare with that process, when you try to meditate by sitting in any place, visualizing the element fully about its process and values and all this greatness of it, then we will be getting the similar benefit only by doing this meditation without moving around to any place. So that is the background information we all should keep in our mind when we do this meditation. I hope today when we are doing the meditation, you all will be able to enjoy this effect. Okay, the second part in this meditation, we are doing that on the 9 planets of this solar system, because we are all living in the earth, and the earth is part of solar family. So in that family, which are all the close planets which can create some kind of effects within our physical body, those planets are taken for meditation in this part. So again, the same way we will be meditating for 2 minutes on each planet. So when we are doing that 2 minutes meditation on each of this planet, we will be visualizing each planet about their qualities and the power of it. And also we will try to absorb the radiations of the planet and become one with it. The same phenomena like we do with 5 elements, right? So when we are trying to be one with it, there is no difference, at least for that 2 minutes, between any particular planet you are meditating on and also with you. So due to that being one with it, so there is no negative effect at all. So by this, the radiation coming out of that planet is becoming more and more beneficial to us, and it creates some positive connectivity with the nature. And many of us doing this meditation have some basic question: how to visualize this part? That's what generally we used to hear when we talk about this meditation. But personally, I feel that without adding any further creativity to this, just considering the basic information, whatever we are hearing during that meditation, because all the information required to visualize about that planet is being told to us during that part, right? The color of the rays emanated from that particular planet, and how that particular waves are creating some kind of effect within our body. So these all information are being given to us, and how much distance it is away from the sun, and also on which orbit it's rotating, and how much time it's taking for completing each rotation. So these all information are being spelled out during that part, right? So only using those information, just visualize about that planet. You can sit in the same place, and you can bring that planet close to you and become one with it, or you can have a virtual travel to that particular planet by getting all this information. Visualize that you are reaching to that planet and becoming one with it for that 2 minutes. And another important part here, we are meditating on Sun, Mercury, Venus, Moon, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu. So in this about Rahu and Ketu, many of the new members will be having some questions also, why that is being taken as for this meditation. As I was mentioning earlier, when we consider the solar family, whichever the planets can create more effects on human beings. This is what the astrology system is also considering, right? So these are the planets creating more effects on human being. So that is the reason we are taking those listed planets for meditation. Particularly about Rahu and Ketu, there are a lot of informations and explanation given through different philosophies, but our guru again simplifies it for us, and he is giving a clear, simple explanation. And due to the continuous sun, when we consider a sun being a big planet, and due to the continuous heat and all the energy particles will be rotating in high speed, and after a certain time in the center of the sun, there will be like a big portion in which all the energy particles which loses its energy will get staggered and forming like a black hole, and that cannot stay after a duration, so that keeps traveling all over the universe in both the direction. So those two, one side is called as Rahu, other side is called as Ketu, and those two shadow planets are also creating some kind of physical effects within us. So that is the reason we are doing the meditation on those two shadow planets also. And again, similar to the 5 natural elements, this also creates very good connectivity with those planets. And as we do like visiting a park, giving some effect to us, in the same manner, this meditation is also creating some kind of effects to us mentally, physically, psychologically. And that is the reason this meditation is becoming more effective, particularly when we do it on no moon day or full moon day, and also the eclipse days, because the cosmic energy, there will be a big kind of surge or storm occurring in the cosmic energy within this universe. So on those days when we do this meditation, it is considered to be more effective. We all could realize that with more effectiveness, which we will be able to realize in today's meditation also after this speech when we do that. Okay, so next benefits. So what exactly we are getting as benefits of doing this meditation? We have talked a lot about the benefits during the explanation itself, and there are we cannot list out so that much numerous number of benefits we are getting by doing this effective meditation. But to visualize and get more connectivity during the meditation, I try to list out few important major benefits. Basically, it is creating a harmony, because we are trying to be connected with the nature to get more and more, because we are all fraction evolved from it. So how to increase the connectivity? So by doing this meditation, we will be able to achieve the harmonization, so that we are getting that real connectivity. And in addition, this gives all other basic benefits apart from the list we are seeing here. By doing any meditation, right, we will be able to get some increased focus, concentration, and better decision making capability. These all are additional benefits which are included in this meditation also. And mainly when we talk about using this meditation, even though in our system it is taught like monthly once we need to do this meditation, we are all doing normally on no moon and full moon days in a month. And apart from that, when you are getting some kind of trouble in your life for which you cannot identify any reason in our own analytical capability, then doing this meditation repeatedly will be definitely guiding us to be out of that problem in a natural way, because we are directly dealing with the raw materials or to the core elements of this nature. So when we get more connectivity and positivity from that particular nature, all this down the line things will be changing. And when we interact with any kind of person or substances, basically made up of these five natural elements, so the interaction will be harmonized automatically, and all the problems or issues will be gradually cured, and we will be out of that problem. This is personally felt by many of our members who did this practice with this particular thing keeping in the mind. And also, when we talk about the last point, immunity increases. How can that increase the immunity? Because when we talk about the physical health, earlier we have seen that the five elements are part of our body also. So when we meditate that, all the physiological functions within ourselves by these five elements are getting improved. And also, when we talk about the planets, those are being some reason for making some change of the biochemical within our body. So when we do that meditation and harmonizing it, so the physiological function in our physical body is getting improved, and automatically the immunity level is also increasing. These are just few benefits which we need to have in our mind when to have a more effective feeling during the meditation. Okay, so without taking much time before going for the meditation, I just thought of concluding that this five elements and nine planet meditation is a great boon to us given by our guru in our system, and all the required information and explanation is also given to us to do this meditation, to understand and visualize it effectively and enjoy all the benefits in the required manner. So considering the importance of this special meditation only, this is taken as a meditation for by our organization for making this world record. You all might have heard, right? Last year, our organization has achieved a world record by having this meditation done virtually through online all over the world, in which a very high number of people, almost more than 50,000 people have done at the same time, and that was recorded in Guinness as a world record for our organization. So let us try to utilize this great meditation and achieve all the required excellence in our life by effectively using it and visualizing it. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine.